Hey guys. Look at me, I'm tan as fuck. Welcome back to another episode of Good Intentions with Lisa-Tien, and that is me. I have been MIA, and I apologize. I quite literally had to force myself to record an episode right now. Today was kind of hectic. Actually, the last 2 months have been very hectic. The only thing I have been doing consistently is going on dates. The rest of my life, very inconsistent, but also maybe consistent in a sense where am I spiraling? I feel like these last 2 months, I have not really been going to the gym. I've been in like a K-hole with weed. It all started after going out to Tedeseo with my bestie for her birthday. Like, I think I had already stopped smoking for maybe a month. And this is weed, cannabis, not nicotine. I still can't get over how tan. Oh my God, am I the same color as my couch? This is fun. This is going to be a good episode. Yes, so we went out. It was like the end of May, the last weekend of May, I believe. And we went out, and then the next day I was hungover. And anytime I've hungover, anytime I'm like incapacitated in some sort of way, I use that as an excuse to go get pre-rolls, smoke, lounge around, and do absolutely nothing. Because if I'm doing absolutely nothing, why not also be high at the same time? Also, the fan just popped on, and hopefully it's not loud as fuck, because lately it's been very inconveniently loud and blowing my napkins and trash off of my coffee table. And I just adjusted the vent, so hopefully it's chill. Yeah, this morning I feel like, I don't know, sometimes when I am like quote unquote spiraling, I feel some type of way about it. I'm like, okay, I need to start listening to podcasts and like getting my mindset back on track. But sometimes it's like you know what you have to do. It's just a matter of actually doing it that makes it very hard. And I don't know if it's just because I have ADHD, and if it's something that I'm not ready or interested in doing, I'm just not going to do it. Like, I just don't want to do it. So sometimes I'll pull up YouTube ready to play one of my usual podcasts that I'll listen to kind of get my mindset hyped up. And I'll be like, nah, I'll just listen to music. And so, yes, we're halfway through, almost all the way through June. I feel like, yes, starting at the end of May, like the last weekend possible of May. So let's just say June and July, we have been smoking, door dashing, eating, waking up late, a fucking hot mess central, going to the gym maybe twice a week, 3 times if I'm lucky, because I'll just sleep through my alarm. But lately I've been setting, I'll set an alarm at 5, and then I'll set an alarm at 5:30 just in case. Like, bitch, try to sleep through it. Another one's going off. But to where like I also now have to set a 7 a.m. alarm just in case I sleep through both of those, then at least I can wake up for work and get ready and leave at a decent time and not be running late every day. Every day it feels like I am fighting for my life to get to work on time. And I'm just like, am I okay? Like, are we good? Are we like, we're 31. Can we get to work on time? Like, hello. The ADHD is taking over. And you know what? It's fine. I don't feel bad about it. I try not to let myself feel bad about it, because if I feel bad about it, feeling bad about it isn't going to motivate me to be better. It's just going to make me have a shame spiral. So I kind of just accept whatever the process is. And I feel like now the process is, I'm shifting, I'm changing. It's like I'm ready. It's like, okay, summer's coming to an end. We're tan. We're loving that. But let's get back baby steps to the life and the lifestyle we want to have and the person we want to be. Let's just make these itty bitty choices. So I've been to the gym like 3 times this week already. And what is a week? Like, I feel like my week doesn't start on Sunday or whatever. But yes, okay. So I went to the gym, I believe Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and today. I don't think I went Saturday, actually. I think I went Friday. But anyway, 3 to 4 times already. We're feeling good. We're feeling great. We're moving and grooving. And I'm here for it. So let's start all the way back to June, because the last episode I uploaded, I had recorded that like, I think sometime in May, maybe like the beginning of May. It was quite a while ago. So I have like 0 updates. Right at some point, I decided to get on to the dating apps. I guess I'll start there. Oh my God. Okay. So I had told myself that I'm ready to date, right? I told myself that I wanted to wait a full year until summertime, because that was around the time when I left my ex, was last summer. I want it to be a full year of just like processing, healing, right? Not like really putting myself out there yet, like really thinking about the kind of relationship that I want, the person I want to be, and the person that I want to be with, right? So June comes around. I'm ready. I told myself I wasn't going to get on the apps, but then Instagram kept showing me ads of Duet and Coffee Meets Bagel, which is dating apps, but not a lot of users are on it. And I was kind of curious just to see what it looked like if different people are on these apps versus on Hinge and Bumble. So I downloaded Coffee Meets Bagel first, immediately deleted that one because you only get like 12 swipes or whatever. And I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna work for me. And so I just went ahead and deleted that. I downloaded Duet, and there were actually a couple guys that I was talking to on there. There was one, I nicknamed him Divorce Daddy. He was kind of giving like, low-key kind of reminded me of Martin Garrix. But anyway, we started chatting, and we actually had a lot in common, to where I was like, is he just saying he likes things off of my profile? So I would like go through my profile to like double check and make sure that I'm not adding any, like, to make sure, right, that he's not just copying and pasting. Yeah, we had a lot in common. However, our lifestyle's a little different, right? He's a little more blue collar, country, lived out in Aledo. And I didn't mind that, right? Because I was like, it's just somebody that's different, you know, like I should change up my type because my type doesn't even text me back. So I was open to that. And we talked for a little bit. He said, I want to take you out. We went out to dinner and then dancing, because he dances. We went to Guitar and Cadillacs, and that was cool. And then after that, we found a secluded area. Yes, I went to a secluded area off of the highway with a complete stranger. We met up at the restaurant, and then I left with him to go to Guitar and Cadillacs. So I left to a second location with a stranger, and then we go to a third location with this stranger. But, you know, it's just vibes. I felt like I could trust him. Like, he just didn't seem like a creep ass or like a terrible human. He genuinely seemed very gentle and sweet. And so, yes, we kind of just wanted to hang out. And so he works like in construction and stuff. So he knew of a spot right off of the highway where we can see the stars, and it was perfect. He moved the truck several times to find like a different area. And the place where we landed at, the view was perfect, because I was told that there was going to be like a strawberry moon or whatever, fucking full moon, right? And I thought I had missed it because I thought it was the night before. So we're just chilling in the truck, like kind of just talking. And I look up ahead on the horizon, and I was like, what is that over there? And it's just like this bulb of light in a circular shape right on the horizon, and slowly it would like rise. And I was like, wait, where is the moon? So we try to get out, look to see where the moon is. And I was like, I think that's the moon over there. And he was like, is it? Like, but it was. And we were there for a few hours and just like watched it rise and rise and rise, and the clouds go by, and it was actually really chill. Like, we just talked, and I find out, because I love to ask questions, right, that he is currently going through a divorce and he has children. And we went on a couple dates after that as well. But in the end, I kind of struggled with if I wanted to even be with someone that had children, because my ex had children, right? Been there, done that. If that was actually a good and healthy relationship, maybe I would feel differently with dating someone that also has children. But based off of the lifestyle I want to have, like, I'm going to want to go out. You know, I don't go out all the time, but I'm going to want to go out when I feel like it. And I'm going to want to travel. What if I want to live abroad? What if I want to move somewhere, right? Like, I want my partner to be able to be open to doing those things. And I kind of just figured that just would not be the case because he has children. And also, based off of what I have gathered about his ex, it sounded like she's very toxic and a narcissist. And I know that people say, oh, that's a red flag that he's talking shit about her. I'm like, he's not talking shit about her. I ask questions. He answers very like short. He's not giving me all these details. He's not bashing her. He's not calling her crazy. He's not doing anything. He's just telling me little bits of the facts. And because I have been in a relationship like that as well, I know what to look for. I like to think that I know what to look for. So I believed him. And, you know, if she is what she says, if she is what I am thinking she is, you know, I feel like trading weekends and all of that would have been really complicated. And my marriage was complicated, quote unquote marriage. I don't even want to call it a marriage because it was not a real marriage. It wasn't a partnership in any form of way. But I just want drama free, you know, like, I highly value peace. And after a couple weeks, I kind of just texted him and I was like, I have to be honest. You know, I kind of told him, I think on the second date, that I'm still on the fence. But then I really thought about it and I was like, I got to let this person go, right? But also coincidentally, I started talking to someone else, and that was the ADHD hyperfixation. So his name, they also had the same name, right? So I called them 1 or 2, and then their name 1, their name 2. But then I also called the first one Divorce Daddy, which was another nickname. And then this one, I would call him Boo because he ghosted me last year. And so I kind of gave him shit about that, like, just joking. And we ended up FaceTiming. We talked for like 2 hours. I immediately was like, oh my God, he's so cutie, this, that, or whatever. Like, kind of just already delusional. Like, wow, we matched last year. And for some reason, you know, we planned to go out. He ghosted me. He probably wasn't ready for me at that time. Maybe he's ready for me now. Maybe there, you know, there's always a reason, blah, blah, blah. So like, I was really hyped on like, what are the odds? What are the chances that this guy is the guy, right? And I, you know me, it's ADHD, it's hyperfixation, it's we living in the Delulu. He was a dick. Yeah. So FaceTime call, already obsessed. We go on a date. It was like chill. And I just thought it was really strange. So like we went and had sushi. Also, why offer me sushi? I don't know if he was like concerned about money, but he was kind of like, yeah, we can get an appetizer or 2 if you want. And then how about like you get a roll, I'll get a roll, and then we'll get one to share or something like that. So he's just communicating, right? Whatever. I just collect data. That's what I say nowadays is I collect data. Like I just see, watch, listen, see. I don't like form any judgments. I don't form opinions yet. I'm just collecting information. and collected that information, right? And then we go hang out in the car, smoke a little bit. And then after I don't think we had been hanging out for 2 hours yet. It might have been an hour and a half. But he was like, all right, so I'm going to go. And I thought it was strange. But when we were in the car, we were kind of, or on FaceTime, we were kind of already talking about like the second date because we live close to each other. And he was like, oh, it's almost like we can hang out already again. And so on the FaceTime call, we were already planning to hang out later that weekend. So towards the end of the first date, I confirmed with him. I was like, so would you want to hang out Sunday? Do you want to do this? Like low key, high key. I feel like I've been testing these guys subconsciously. I've been talking about going to the Dallas Arboretum for months, right? All of spring for months. And every weekend that passed by, it was either raining or it just schedules wasn't working out. Like I wanted to go with my girlfriends at work. And it's like, I would go by myself, but it's inconveniently of a distance to go by myself. So that was my plan. I was like, I'm going to have one of these guys take me to the fucking Arboretum. And whoever does, I'll probably fall in love with them. Because it's like all these guys are, asking to go out for a drink or whatever. Dinner's fine, but most of them, I would assume they want something like low. I don't want to say low effort, but like low commitment. Like you don't have to be there for a full dinner. Like it's a drink just to see if we vibe or whatever. And I want to go to the Arboretum. Okay. I'm ready to take a beautiful walk and look at flowers and fall in love. And if you're not down for that, then you're probably not down for me. And so with all of these dates, I would ask them or tell them I want to go to the Arboretum to see if they would take me. And one guy was like planning brunch or something. And I was like, I really want to go to the Arboretum. Would you be down for that? And then he just like didn't respond. I was like, all right, not for me. And anyway, so with this one, I call him Boo, right? Yeah, so we talked about it. We were planning the Arboretum. I was like, can we get a coffee before? He was like, I'll probably just get one from Salad and Go because that's where he gets his coffee from. And he was like, I can bring you one. I can pick you up. We're like talking time. And then I like wake up early to go to the gym. And he had texted me and he said, would you hate me if we rescheduled the Arboretum for next weekend? He was like, I still want to see you. I just have a few errands I got to take care of. And I feel like going to Dallas or the Arboretum is going to take up a little bit of time. And so I was like, that's fine as long as I still get to see you tonight. And he was like, okay, how does like movie at my place sound? And I'm like, no. And of course I'm texting the group chat. I'm texting my bestie, my ADHD bestie as well. She's like, it's giving breadcrumb. And I'm like, yeah, like we were on a date for sushi. He's already talking about the second date, like going to get oysters, going to the Arboretum and having lunch after and all of that. And then all of a sudden you want to change it up and you want me to come over to your place to watch a movie, Netflix and chill. I said, no, I don't want to be over there. I'm not trying to hook up, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, oh, why does that make me like you so much more? And he was like, okay, I'll plan something for tonight. I definitely want to see you. So then we go to this arcade. We had pizza there, played some games. Like I was having a good time. And again, we weren't there for that long, less than 2 hours. And he already was like, all right, you ready? And I was like, ready? And he's like, yeah, we can go do something else. I just feel like we played all the good games here. And I was like, okay. So then we get in the car. We made out a little bit. And then he's like, all right, well, let me put in your Addy. And then I was like, okay, so he's just taking me home. Right. I thought it was cute and that he put in effort to like offer to pick me up, which was out of the way. And I let him. And then he took me home and then we kissed a little bit. And I thought it was strange because after the first date, he texted me immediately and was like, oh my God, that kiss, blah, blah, blah. I can't wait to see you. After the second date, he didn't say anything. And of course, we're breaking habits, right? We're trying to be aware of our attachments, how what our thought process is, the things that we're doing and the things we want to not do and do things differently, right? So I'm immediately already like, this was weird. And so then we're chasing. And I texted him and I was like, I had a good time. I would have liked to hang out with you like a little more, a little longer. And he was like, I mean, we could do a movie at my place, or I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't feel comfortable. I don't want to hook up. And he was like, I completely understand. I don't want to do anything if you don't want to do anything. I'm just trying to figure out of cheap things or free things to do. That was another red flag. I don't care. Okay, I thought about it and then I was like, yeah, okay, I guess that's fair. But no, it's like, if you're taking me out, you're taking me out. If you can't afford me, then don't take me out. You're probably just not the one for me. I'm not trying to be a gold digger, but really, like, we could go for a walk. We could literally sit and hang out in the car, right? And I'm just thinking all these things and whatever. It's just, I'm already caught up in this delulu with him, right? So we plan to hang out. I think that Monday I went over there. And it was very clear to me. Well, the whole thing was just very weird. Okay, so he told me to park on the opposite side of the bank, wherever his apartment was, right? So the apartment building's here. The bank is right next to it, right? So I'm like, okay, don't park at the bank. So I park on the opposite side of the bank, which is the back of the apartment building. And so I told him I was here. He, I guess, like went outside to like see where I was and didn't see me. He was like, just let me know when you're here. And I was like, I've been here. And so he had to walk around and saw, and he was like, the opposite side of the bank, and gestured from here to the opposite side of the bank. And then he like jokingly, jokingly flipped me off. And I was just like, interesting. It just seems like he was annoyed already. And I was like, I should have just left, but I didn't. There were so many times that day, that interaction with him, that I should have left and I didn't. And so, yeah, the plan was I was going to come over, we were going to smoke and then like watch TV, eat or whatever, hang out. And I assumed, he asked if we can smoke in the car, so I assumed he had the stuff with me or with him when he came down to the car, right? Like, why wouldn't we just immediately smoke in the car? And I was like, do you want to get in? And he was like, oh, well, I still need to go roll up, blah, blah, blah. He was like, just pull around. And so I pulled around to the front of the building. What he could have said was, park in front of the building, not in the back. But the opposite side of the bank, the opposite side, which side? There could be a square, four sides. Like, that's crazy. But anyway, I'm, again, collecting data. And so then he rolls up, we smoke, blah, blah, blah. We go back in and like we're kissing. And it's very clear that he's wanting to hook up. And we're just like making out, and then I stop him, and then I'm like, okay, let's just like watch TV. And he's like, okay, random Twilight movie or random whatever. I think it was like the Hunger Games movie, and put it on. And then we started kissing again. And then like he just was like running his hands, and I kind of just looked at him. I told him, I don't know if I shared this, but I'm not going to share this part. Me keeping secrets, but whatever. I just told him I was going to leave because he wasn't respecting that I didn't want to hook up. Because if he did, he wouldn't be moving his hands all around about. And the way he reacted to the information that I gave him was very like, ew, gross. yeah, I'm glad I'm leaving. So I'm leaving. And then I just immediately blocked him. I blocked his phone number and I went to block him on Bumble, but he had already deleted his account. And so that was that. Move on. Next guy I matched with and talked with. I actually thought he was cute. I thought he was interesting. We FaceTimed before we went out as well. And we talked for like 3 hours. He lived all the way out in Allen. I'll just call him different white boy because that's what he referred to himself as. I'm a different kind of white boy. Like he wears chains and he plays basketball and he's in sales and whatever. I thought he was cutie. I liked how he was, things he had to say when we were chatting. He seemed intelligent, but I'm always wary about people that are in sales, you know, because like you're literally taught to manipulate people. Basically, you're taught to get someone to buy something. And when they're hesitant, you're taught to like get them right over the edge. So I had to be, you know, conscious of that as well. And the first date was fun. You know, it's chill. And I had a good time. I would have definitely been down to go out with him. Again, he had asked me already like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? You want to come out with me and my boys, this, that, or whatever. And it was a Friday night. I was like, I work Saturday. And he's like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't come then because I plan on getting fucked up. Like he several times had said that he loves to go out and that's great. And he said, yeah, you know, when I'm in a relationship, then I don't, but I'm single. So he kept saying those things. There were several things that he would say. And again, I'm just collecting data to where I'm like, it's kind of a red flag. Like I was going to say dog sitting, cat sitting, right? And he said, oh, this cat is my friend's cat, actually. And my friend's out of town, blah, blah, blah. And then later on was like, actually, it's my ex. And I was like, not you on your Hinge profile saying, please be over your ex and you're watching your ex's cat. That's crazy. And he's like, yeah, we broke up like in November, December. It was mutual. We haven't talked since then. She's seeing other people. She just doesn't trust anyone else with the cat and doesn't want to board the cat and ask me. She's even paying me to watch the cat. And, you know, all of that information. Great. Thank you. It was the rest of the information. He's like, don't worry, we're not going to hook up. I'm not having sex with her, this, that, or whatever. She even asked me to like make her a steak. Hell no, I'm not making her a steak. I was like, okay, like, why are you giving me all of this kind of information? Maybe he was, you know, a neurodivergent or whatever. Or maybe he's just giving me like information to see how I would take it or handle it or if I would get jealous or whatever. I don't know. Because other things that he was saying, I was like, why would you tell me that? Like on the date, he mentioned, he was like, oh, you're an Apple Watch girl. I was like, yeah. He's like, I just buy regular watches. I like to buy nice watches. And I have a few of them, you know, whenever the battery's done or something breaks, like, sure, I could just pay to get it fixed, but like, I just go ahead and buy another watch. And I'm like, okay. And then he brought up how he has an 80-inch flat screen TV or whatever. And I was like, oh, so about like this size or whatever. And he's like, yeah, just about near. I'm like, why are you flexing? Like, why are you giving me this information? Also, not that he trauma dumped, but he did mention something about his dad. And I was just like, you know, just collecting data, right? And then we text a little bit more. And then it kind of just like dwindled off a little bit. And my whole thing with how I'm showing up on apps this time around is I'm not chasing, is what I tell myself. I'm not chasing. I might text them first. Like if I haven't heard from them all day or if it's an unusual, then I might text them first once. And if nothing, if they're giving me nothing, then that's just it. I'm moving on, right? Like I'm not going to chase you because guys that want to be with you will make it known that they want to be with you. You're never going to feel confused. You're never going to this. You're never going to that, blah, blah, blah. So moved on to the next. And I was like going hard. I had like dates set up. Finally, a boy was down to take me to the Arboretum, right? And I didn't really know what to expect with him. I think he had liked my profile first, and this was on Hinge, so I liked him back. What I think I'm gonna nickname him BB. BB. He's so sweet. He's so darling. I absolutely adore him. I think he's so precious, and hopefully he still wants to see me. But it's been like a week. He's top of the roster. There's only 2 people on my roster right now. And it's him and this other guy. But I haven't met the other guy yet. Right, so this BB, sweet BB, I didn't really know what to expect based off of his like profile pictures. He's a little dry in texting, and I couldn't tell. Like he asked me out. I have to give the whole backstory. Like I think we matched like the day before 4th of July or something like that. So we texted a little bit that day. I was just like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to the pool. Actually, on 4th of July, I had a gelato date with this other guy, which I had a good time, but I was like, I don't know. If he asked me to go on a second date, I would say yes, just to like make sure, but he didn't. And also, I'm not going to chase you. So we kind of just moved on from that. Anyway, I'm messaging BB. I'm feeling some type of way. Your girl was a little horny. I don't think I was ovulating yet, but I was feeling like some type of way. And I really wanted to just message him and be like, hey, you know what? I kind of just want to hook up. Because I didn't really know or expect that he would like really be giving me much in terms of going on a date, asking me out. Like I figured because he was young, he's 24, that he might be like a fuck boy, or he's just on here just to, I don't know, dick around or whatever. But I'm glad that I didn't. And I almost did. Like I even texted Justin. I was like, I kind of want to just text him and be like, hey, so are you down to hook up? But I'm glad that I didn't, because he did end up asking me out. I told him I want to go to the Arboretum. He lives in Dallas. Offered to pick me up. I said no. I would feel so terrible to have you drive 30 minutes out of the way to pick me up, just to drive 40 minutes in that direction and then have to take me back home. But before then, he was like, so Arboretum was Sunday, right? I think we were trying to plan something. Saturday night, I had like a birthday to go to. And he was like, well, would you want to do something after? Like go grab a drink or whatever. And I was like, I don't know if we're going out after this, but yeah, I would be down. I kind of figured we would meet up around like 8, 9. But he was like, is it okay if we hang out a little later, like 10 or 11? And I was like, no, that's a little late for me. And I was like, you're free to FaceTime me though. And he's like, okay, I'm down for that. And then I didn't hear from him. So I figured he like passed out or whatever. But then I didn't hear anything from him that next day. And the plan was to go to the Arboretum at 12, right? It's like 11. And I'm like, oh, okay, he probably is just like is ghosting me, which isn't a big deal, right? We move on. I was just got out of bed, getting ready to go to the gym. He texted me. He said, hey, I'm sorry. I passed out last night. Do you want me to come pick you up? I was like, what? I was just about to go to the gym and I didn't want to say it. I was just like, no, don't pick me up. What time can you be there? Scheduling and whatever. We meet up at the Arboretum, smoked before, and then walked around. And he was so sweet. I was not expecting him to be a complete sweetheart. And yeah, I like him a lot. And yeah, so that was 4th of July. So I guess we've been talking for a couple of weeks now. In my head, we've only been talking for a week, but I guess it's been like 2, almost 3 weeks. Yeah, so anyway, I didn't really think much of it. He took me to lunch after, and then he had something to go to, and then I had another date with another 24-year-old for dinner that night. And immediately it was a no. I was actually really excited to meet this guy because of how we were texting, and turns out it's a no for me. He just looked very aged compared to his pictures. I think his pictures were very old. And again, he's 24. But he didn't look 24. And the vibe was just like not there. So, you know, we had sushi and then that was that. And then I had another date, I think that was like Monday, with this other guy who I was also excited to see based off of how we were texting, but the vibe wasn't there. And I was just like, you know what? Like, I really like BB. Like, I really like him. So I just like stopped messaging everyone else since then, except for this other guy. I don't have a nickname for him. We'll call him Unk because he said that's his friends nickname him Unk. Because he's an old man, but he's 26. We matched on Bumble actually, and I wasn't really sure what to expect from him because he was also very short and dry. With both BB and Unk, there was at least one time where we're messaging on the apps where I didn't respond because of how dry they were, but I'm really glad that I did respond because they're supposedly interested, I think. So I think I just caught you guys up. The guy that I did go out with on that Monday, we'll call him Camp because he likes to camp. He was giving more like platonic vibes for me. He was also going through a divorce. So I was just like, he wasn't really sure like what he was looking for, what he was wanting. And I was just like, I've already done my healing process. I've already done all of those things. Like, I know what I want. And still figuring out what I don't want, but I do want a relationship. I want a solid foundation of friendship and a relationship with a partner that I will potentially spend the rest of my life with, you know, like that's what I want. I'm not trying to fuck around and find out. I'm not like, I want to have a connection with someone and I want to build that connection. Right. And if you're still figuring it out, that's great. But like, you're not going to figure it out with me. You better already have it figured out. Right. And so at the end, and again, I was like, with all these guys, I potentially would be down for a second date just to make sure, you know, like first date vibes are different, right? Everyone's nervous. Everyone might feel like, I don't know, they have to like show up in some kind of way. Like it might not feel like as natural. But anyway, at the end of our date, I remembered, right? And I forgot to share this part where I went to the speed dating event just to see what it was like, just to see who would be there. There weren't a lot of people. There were 4 guys, 4 girls, right? And in my head, I was like, well, if anything, I'll just make friends. And so I did. There were 2 girls that showed up together and then one of the other guys that were there. After the event, we kind of just sat around, chatted, drank, and then we left to go to a bar in Uptown Dallas, ate, drank more. We made a group chat, and we're all basically like ADHD, so it was a fucking vibe, and I was like, I'm living for this moment, and I hope that we stay friends forever. The guy dipped out because he found a girl, and one of his things is he doesn't want his partner to have friends of the opposite sex. So I guess in return, he also feels like he can't have or shouldn't have friends of the opposite sex. I think he said something about like, yeah, you can't really be friends if like you want to sleep with each other. And I'm like, okay, so you know, fuck your friends, girls, or did you get cheated on? Like, no judgment, right? We're all different people and we all like and don't like different things. So it just is what it is. But now, anyway, all of that to say was at the end of this date with Camp, I was like, I feel like you and my friend Tay would, I'm just going to call her Taylor. Like, who the fuck is even listening to this? I don't even know why I'm giving all these guys nicknames. Like, my friend Taylor, like, I feel like you guys would really hit it off. I texted her about him. I texted her his picture. She was like, oh my God, he's cute. I was like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you guys would really just vibe. And I think that if things worked out for the 2 of them, it would be a very healing type of relationship because of what he went through and what she's gone through, I was like, I feel like it's a match. But then they talked for a little bit. She said, I don't like camping. So like we kind of went separate ways. I was like, girl, you don't have to like camping. You could still like meet up with him and go out. But anyway, so there's that, right? So right now we've got Sweet BB and Unk. And I haven't met Unk yet. He just had surgery, recovering, and we FaceTimed the other day, and that was really nice. We talked for like a really long time, and I'm curious to see what he would be all about. We're gonna go out, I believe, on Saturday. And I love to be Delulu. You know, I love to spiral. And I was like, what if both of these guys are just really sweet, genuine, wholesome humans? And they're both so different. Like, Sweet BB and I are very similar in the fact that we are ADHD and very, like, off the cusp. I have a lot of fun with him. I weirdly feel very safe with him. And I'm low-key rooting for him. I think I like him the most because he's just like, I don't know, I just like look at him and I'm like, this might be like what I need, you know? Because he is so, I don't really know how to describe it. It's just a vibe. It's just a feeling, right? And then with Unk, I haven't met him yet. Not really sure. Not really sure. I do like him too. I like the both of them. I'm not sure though. Right. So we shall see. We'll see. But as of right now, like Sweet BB, I think after maybe the second date with him, I was like, yeah, I'm not messaging anybody back. Like, I'm not interested. Which is crazy because all of the other guys that I had gone on dates with and talked to and exchanged numbers with, like I was still going back on the apps to message them and not message them, but like message other people, and was kind of excited on setting up all these dates. But like with Sweet BB, I just have not been interested at all with anyone else. And it's like exciting, but it's also kind of scary because I don't really know how he feels about it, you know? Like it hasn't been that long. And also to think with the fact that they are so different, Sweet BB and Unk, like it really is all going to be dependent on what I want in a partner and in my life. Right? Like Sweet BB is 24 and I don't know, you know, if he has or what his life goals, plans, what he wants to achieve. And I do, but I struggle with that, with being consistent, right? So I feel like I need someone that's going to help hold me accountable. I don't know yet if he could help hold me accountable, or if the both of us are just going to have fun and be in love and just coast through life, you know? And maybe that's what life is all about, you know? But then Unk was in the Marines and he is in school and he's a pilot and he has a plan, right? He's finishing school right now and hoping to join the Navy and this, that, and whatever. And but also has chronically no time. And it's just like up in the air of what kind of life I want. And again, I'm like already thinking about it way too much because I haven't even gone out with Unk yet, right? I had a good time FaceTiming him. Then Sweet BB, I don't know if he still wants to see me because something came up and he's a little worried about it. And, you know, part of me is like, okay, I'm going to give you space and just circle back and let me know where your head's at about it. And a part of me is like, you know what? I am going to accept whatever is and whatever isn't. So like when things don't work out, it's still working out for you, right? So like if he decides that was a close call and he wants to move on, then that's just going to have to be what it is, you know? And if he decides he still wants to see me, that's great. Slay. But then there's, you know, Unc and what that whole situation is going to be all about, because he's going to have to move potentially, right? And a part of me is like, I feel like I don't mind doing long distance. I've said this whole time for years, I'd move if I had a reason to. That literally those words come out of my mouth almost on a daily. I would move if I had a reason to. I don't have a reason to move, but if I met someone and they wanted to move, I would be open to moving. Like I want to experience something different. So then it's just whatever it is that I want to experience, right? And that's just me catching you guys up on this roller coaster of events. I kind of want to reel it back into something positive and something enlightening and uplifting. Is dating is fun. And dating should be fun. And if you're not having fun dating, like if you're stressed, if you're anxious, there's something to be worked on, because dating is fun. It's just a mindset about it. You're meeting all of these people. So I go into it with the mindset of I'm meeting people. I talk to people every day at work. I meet new people every day at work. It's just how I show up is we're just going to have a conversation, right? I'm going to get to know you. I'm going to ask you questions because I'm curious about your life and things that you like and stuff like that, and just see how we vibe. And also I'm going to see how you speak about other people, and if you're judgmental about other people, how you speak about your parents and stuff like that. Like I am going to be collecting data, right? Like I'm not out here like with a checklist or anything like that. I want to get to know you to see if we're going to like each other and if we're compatible and if we can move on to whatever the next steps are. And yeah, I think it's an ADHD thing where I can juggle multiple conversations. So like before cutting everyone else off, I'm juggling like 10, 12, 15 different conversations with people, like on not necessarily, not so much on Bumble anymore, but it was mostly just on Hinge because it's exciting, right? I'm like just always on my phone. I'm always in my group chat. I'm the only one talking in my group chat. Like it's all like blue text most of the time, and they'll respond whenever they can. With Justin, I'm texting him all of the time. I just have a lot of things to say, so it's like fun for me. It might be exhausting and draining for other people, but it can also be exhausting and draining for me if I let it be, right? But I don't let it be. My mindset on it is it's fun. I'm getting to know people and guys are taking me out, and that's a good time. And I can make time for that. I don't feel drained. I don't feel like I need to completely recharge. Like I was going strong there for 4 weeks, and now we've kind of just slowed it down because I really want to see where things go with Sweet BB, most importantly. And if things don't go, then they don't go. And it'll be a slight bummer, but everything's working out for you, you know? Like we have to come into it with this abundant mindset. And that's something that I consciously am training myself and rewiring my brain on, because I think in a sense I am also hypervigilant. Like I can sense when something's off. I can sense when the rhythm is off, right? And it was a little off with me and Sweet BB. And I can feel myself like getting anxious, getting a little insecure, like wondering, you know, so then I'm kind of leaning in a little bit, like maybe I'm asking him if he wants to hang out. a little more than I normally would, right? And maybe I don't want to say chasing, but in a sense, yeah, it's like, okay, letting you know that I do want to see you, and then seeing where it goes with that. And then it's like going, but it's not going. Like the last few days, we've kind of just had struggles planning or just choosing a day and a time that works for the both of us. And that first week we were seeing each other, it was like every day almost. And if we weren't seeing each other every day, we were FaceTiming at least. And so, something was off. And then for a few days, I could feel like myself crashing out, mentally preparing that, okay, maybe he met someone else, or maybe he's just really not that into me anymore. And that's fine. But really like taking the time to be alone, be aware of the thoughts that I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, allowing myself to feel these things, and kind of just like recharging and detaching a little bit. And then he ended up communicating with me what was going on. And I'm like, dang, yeah, I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, wait, but do you still want to see me or what? And I mean, I really do hope that he does. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I do like him. I like him. I feel like a lot more than I thought I would, and maybe a lot more than I feel like I should, because I'm like, is this another ADHD hyperfixation, or is this a feeling and is this a vibe, and does he feel the same, right? So we're just going to see. I need to fucking get going, but yeah, we're just going to see what it's all about. And that's all I have for you guys right now. Just a little life update and a little where I'm at with my mindset. I feel amazing. I'm on the up and up. I'm doing great, right? I'm having a good time and I love it. Thank you guys for listening. I got to go to work now. Love you guys. Bye.